Don't you be afraid, everything will change. You and I jumping off the edge. They say dreamers never die. So come and fly, come and fly, come and fly away with me. We're rising, we're falling, we're making through. We're climbing, we're soaring, 1,000
What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Pop Culture Corner. Today, we're here for the Pop Culture Update. But before we get into any of that, I just want to say a huge shout out to the members of the channel. Prakash Swain, William Powell, John Rodell, Raya, Casey Mack, Ridley1313, Justin Hines, Gavin Cooley, Kinky Sphincter, Roblox, Benson's, DC Talk with Extended, RJ, H. Bartz, That One Carlos, JWJ, Caden, Nick, Adam, and Billy. You guys are the best. Thank you for being members. And if you would like to become a member, all you have to do is hit that link in the description below. And you can join for as low as $2.99 a month. This month, we're giving away a HyperX Quadcast streaming microphone. It's valued at $150. That's our main giveaway of the month. You have to be on tiers 2 or 3 to be eligible for that. But for all of our members, we're giving away a Superior Octopus Pop. So definitely get joined, and you got to be a member before the end of November. That did rhyme, and I know it was great. We do it for you, and we do it for the culture. Also, make sure to like this video, share it across social media, and subscribe. If it's your first time here, we just want to say welcome and thank you for giving us a chance. Yeah, like I said, make sure to follow us on social media as well. All the links are in the description below for me, for Jack, for Caden, and for everyone that's a part of the pop culture team. So definitely check that out. We have a lot to talk about today. So I've been looking into Comicsgate. Like, I've been looking into what it is, how it started, what fundamentally makes it up, who's involved with it. So we're going to talk about that a little bit today. We're also going to talk about Henry Cavill and his recent interview on GQ, kind of breaking down his most iconic characters and obviously Superman. We're also going to talk about Spider-Man. So Spider-Man 4 and The Amazing Spider-Man 3. You might be asking, well, Ty, those never came out. What are you talking about? Well, I have some stuff that I think might be interesting. Could those films end up canon in the MCU if ever Tobey and Andrew were to join in some sort of Spider-Verse fashion? It's all hypothetical, but I think it'd be fun to talk about. We're also going to talk about some hints that some casting crew, including Henry Cavill, like Clay and Zack Snyder himself, sharing a couple of hints. And is it too coincidental that it was all in a little bit of time? Who knows? And then we'll finish off the day with some Tiger King talk. I'm super interested in it. I know that a lot of people, they think it's like taking advantage of people and that. But listen, there are some things in it that I think we need to look a little bit deeper into, like how Joe Exotic's actually in jail, why Jeff Lowe isn't. Like, did Carole Baskin kill her husband? We don't know. I don't know, but I want to find out. So I think we could talk about it and have some fun with it. So with that being said, let's get into some fun stuff and let's just have a good day. I do want to say that I am taking over today's slot because our boy Jack is having a procedure. So keep him in your thoughts. It's not like a major life-threatening surgery or anything, but, you know, we just want to keep him in our thoughts because he called me yesterday and just said, you know, I can't do the show. What can we do to make it so that we're still putting content out. So he was thinking of you, and I was thinking of you, and we're here. So let's get into it. All right, guys, welcome back. So, like I said, we have a lot to talk about today, and I'd like to get through it all, and in a quick motion, because there is a lot. I do want to start off with talking a little bit about what Comicsgate is through and through, like fundamentally, and kind of give people who may or may not know an idea of what it is, because I know I was kind of confused at what entire what it is in its entirety. I know I talked to Dane last night about what it is and what it isn't. Is it kind of like Gamergate? And why is everything that is scandalous has gate at the end of it? Yeah, it's always a question I've asked myself. But hey, who knows? So let's get into talking a little bit about what Comicsgate is and why it's so prevalent in the community right now. I didn't know this is. I mean, there are videos being made about Comicsgate in 2018. So I mean, this isn't something that's brand new or anything like that. So yeah, I mean, it's not new. So what is Comicsgate? The full story. The role, basically, it's the role of social media and agendas and how they play into the creation and well, it's the creation of comics, right? So also the consumption and coverage of comics as well, if that makes sense. So Comicsgate started with a simple picture from comic creators and milkshakes. Yeah. No, I'm not making that up. So it's literally comic creators and milkshakes. It was a picture. But here's the catch. It was all females. Right. Makes more sense now, right? Yeah. I couldn't believe it either, honestly. And the fact that they're all females, the alt-right, it's the guys like Doomcock, Geeks and Gamers, people with that mentality are the ones that are at the center of it. That alt-right, like and the SJW anti people who are, they just don't want any diversity or inclusion in their any forms of their media. And it's absolutely crazy to me. I got into talking about it a little last night with Dane and his friend PR Deadpool. Shout out to them, by the way. Great channel that they got going on. Well, it's a great channel that Dane's got. It's called Forced Adversity. He also has one called Crack-a-Boom, and that's like when he takes the political stuff out of it. I think it's a great platform, and I love what he's doing with it. So if you haven't subscribed already, definitely get over there and check him out. So Comicsgate, like I said, started with just a simple picture of females comic creators from Marvel with milkshakes, and the picture came from Heather Antos, who works for Marvel Comics. That's when things turned sideways, if you want to call it that. Because remember, there are people in the world like Doomcock and Jeremy and Ryan Kinnell that are in the world. People attack this post saying feminism is ruining comics, social justice is killing Marvel, etc., etc., and the list goes on and on. Some of the attacks that were listed on this picture are downright scary. It's scary to think that people think like this. I'm just saying it. It's scary. The Comicsgate people or group, they're basically alt-right people with political agendas trying to get rid of political agendas in comics, like diversity, like inclusion, and so on and so forth. Confusing, right? Yes, I thought so too. The conflict kind of really heated up when a comic creator, I think it's Mark Wade, if I'm not mistaken, and Richard Meyer, who runs the Diversity in Comics channel, right? What an ironic name, Diversity in Comics. And he is just an idiot. He's an alt-right, like he is just this buffoon of a creator. But he's approaching like 400, 500,000 subscribers, right? So maybe we should start talking about this more often. Meyer also abuses crowdfunding for projects that are in production, aka abusing donors, basically, to donate to things that are never gonna see the light of day, basically. So the conflict really like starts there between Richard Meyer and this comic creator. I think it's Mark Waid. If I'm wrong, I know it's Wade. Like the last name's Wade. I can't remember if his first name's Mark. I should have looked into that before I started this. But that's where the whole conflict erupts from. And then from there, people take sides. And that's it just branches out right from there. So it starts with the milkshake picture and really heats up with this conflict between Meyer and Wade. And, Wade talked to the publisher of the book of there was going to be a publisher, and the publisher they publish things that others wouldn't, basically, and like Donald Trump spoof stuff, like comics like that. And Wade reached out because this guy Meyer was crowdfunding a project that they were going to publish. He reached out to them, was like, you don't know who you're getting into bed with, basically. Like, this guy's a clown. And then they pulled out from the project. And then things really got bad from there. Like, Wade put out a statement saying, like, there was a Baltimore Comic-Con coming up. And I think this is before the publisher thing. But this guy, Wade, puts out a statement saying, if you see this guy at Baltimore Comic-Con, it might be a different con, but you get what I'm saying. If you see him there, let me know. Interrupt my panel if I'm on a panel. But he's going to come here as a fan, and he has really radical agendas. Come get me. And then, oh my God, the videos are just endless on what side people are on. So in a nutshell, basically, Comicsgate is people on the alt-right who don't want diversity, inclusion. So they don't want legacy characters like Miles Morales, Kamala Khan, Ironheart. Like literally that picture describes it all. Right here. See all these characters on your right side. All of those characters, no. All the ones on the left, yes. No on the right, yes on the left. So pretty much anyone that has a non-white descent is not okay. And that's fucking crazy. Like, these people are fucking crazy. That's just the way I put it. They're crazy. Like, this doesn't even make sense. Why? Like, I am a very big Captain America fan. I love Spider-Man. I love Batman, Superman, Green Lantern. It's easy for me as a white male to identify with those characters. But like when Justice used to be on the show, you know what Justice always told me? He identified with Miles Morales because it was nice to see a character that looked like him with a moral compass and an ideal to strive towards. Like young, I just, why would you try to deprive someone of color that feeling that we get when one of our favorite heroes is on screen or on the page or whatever it may be? How could you be the person that stands against that? It baffles me. You guys need to, and I'm talking about you guys as in the people that don't want diversity, don't want inclusion, and don't want new ideas in comics or media. Like, you guys really need to take a hard look at how you were raised, because you're toting a very dangerous line. And I can't believe it. I can't believe that in 2021 there are people like this out there. I was raised the way that I think most people should be raised. The color of your skin or the heritage or wherever you hail from, that should not matter. We're one people, one earth. Pigmentation doesn't mean anything. All it means is that your people grew up closer to the equator and your skin is a different color to protect you from the sun. That's all. That's all. It blows my mind. And this is a topic I don't really want to talk about too long, but guys, wake up. Wake up. Cuz this is ridiculous at this point. The fact that this is still a thing. Like, yeah, I get it. Sometimes like the over feminist things in like film, for instance, The Flash, the series, right? The Iris West stuff is a little over the top. I agree. But let's face it, to be fair, political agendas have always been in comic books. Stan Lee used things like Nazis, right? Like Vietnam, or other creators use Vietnam, the Cold War, all these political things, all these wars and all this stuff. Everything that happens, comics are a reflection of our daily life, right? Yeah, we may not have Spiderman swinging through Manhattan. Yeah, we might not have Cap running through Brooklyn, or the Avengers saving New York, right? Or the Justice League protecting Metropolis. But the things and the places, they were always a reflection of us and what was happening in daily life. That's how comic creators express themselves, or express their feelings about what was going on in the world. Great Depression. Like, literally, Steve Rogers was selling bonds. Like, is it to fight Nazis and to bring down Hitler's regime? That doesn't get more political than that. All these things are always present in comic books and media because we tell the stories and we reflect our daily lives, whether it's science fiction, make believe, or not. It's always going to be a thing. We like art imitates life, and it always will. I don't usually wear these on stream, so I'm very uncomfortable with the headphones. But yeah, art always imitates life, and that will never not happen. So wake up. Like, wake up. Get over it. Smell the roses. All right, so next up, we're going to talk about something that's not so dreary, and we'll be right back. All right, so I did want to talk about something that I laughed at yesterday. So Ridley Scott talking about this makes me laugh because he's just an idiot. Well, I love Ridley. Like, trust me, I love Ridley Scott. He's one of my favorite directors. But his comments here are way over the top. Way over the top. So he basically says, the last dual bombing is because what we've got today are the audiences who are brought up on these fucking cell phones, the millennium, who do not ever want to be taught anything unless he told it on the cell phone. Listen, I'm sorry, Ridley. I'm sorry. But your marketing for The Last Duel was so bad and subpar at best that even people like me who go to the movies 3 times a week had a hard time knowing it existed. And like, we have to realize that in a world that cable is not really a thing, right? Like, people are ditching cable every single day. So TV spots, unless people see them on the internet or on like a streaming service, not a lot of people go looking for this stuff. In The Last Duel, like, yeah, it had Affleck, it had Matt Damon, like, it had some cast in it. It was great. I saw it. I loved it. It was a slow burn, but I liked it. I like those kind of movies. but you didn't do a great job marketing it at all. And then to blame millennials and cell phones because you suck at marketing? Come on. Christopher Nolan made Tenet, and he's about to make a movie about the atomic bomb creation. And I guarantee people, asses will be in seats for it. You know why? Because he knows how to market movies. He knows exactly what he's doing. Like, so don't blame people. Blame your marketing department. Blame yourself. Look inward. And that's what the moral of today's pop culture update, the theme is look inward. Instead of pointing the finger, start looking at yourself. Start looking inward and what you could do to better instead of blaming everyone else. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Is Ridley way out of line here, or do you agree with him? Do you think that this movie suffered from whatever the fuck he's saying here? Let me know in the comments below. All right. So also, I'm super pumped about this. So Henry Cavill did an interview with GQ, kind of talking about his iconic characters and breaking them down a little bit. And the DCEU actor says that he wants to present Superman as a genuine hero before Supes succumbs to the anti-life equation via Darkseid. So like I said, in a new interview with GQ, Cavill sits down to break down his most iconic characters. Cavill even discussed having to kill Zod and how it affected Clark and Superman. The interview was fantastic. It's like 12 minutes long, 13 minutes long. No, I think it's 17 minutes long. And some of the bits on it are fantastic. I want to pull one up that I clipped. All right, so here's the part that I clipped out. We're only going to watch a little bit of it. I don't want to get copyright claimed. So especially by GQ. So here is just like a 33-second bit of the beginning of it.
I was very keen on really fleshing out Superman's early stages of his journey first. We had Man of Steel, and then we went quite a bit darker with Batman v Superman. And if he were to succumb to the anti-life equation and become bad Superman, I really wanted to make sure that we saw the hero, Superman, and we saw the true symbol of hope, the beacon of light, before we went down the path of darkness and then redemption. And still something that I am very keen to flesh out.
Amazing.
I was very keen.
So there you have it. So basically, you know, and for me, this should say everything about Henry Cavill as Superman, right? I know there's a lot of people out there that love Henry Cavill as Superman, but there's just as many people out there that don't. And this says so much about Henry and how he knows the character of Clark and Superman. Like, the guy is just spot on with his depictions and how he describes Superman as an entity, right? He wants to be like, before they go down that path of the anti-life, drone Superman, he wants to put on screen that cheerful, Boy Scout, beacon of hope Superman that we see in the end of Justice League, and in Man of Steel. After, towards the end, even though he kills Zod, we see glimmers of the Superman we know and love. And I think Warner Brothers needs to smarten up. They need to give this guy another go at it. Bring on Man of Steel 2, Man of Tomorrow, whatever you want to call it. Bring in Brainiac. Let him beat the mother out of Brainiac. And then greenlight Justice League 2 and 3. Let's send him down the anti-life path and see where it goes. I think it'd be super fun. Like, I don't understand why this still isn't a thing. How it's not greenlit and in production already. It's crazy to me. Like, Cavill is the embodiment of Superman. Every single studio is clamoring, stretching him like a rubber band ball. And Warner Brothers had him. They had him. And they just let it fly away. Well, fly away like Superman. But it blows my mind that this isn't already greenlit. And they aren't reaping the benefits of what this could potentially be. It's very sad to me. It's very, very sad to me. But Yeah, that's not all. That is not all. So Zack Snyder. So in the course of about 2 weeks, Zack Snyder, this is a little tidbit, by the way. Zack Snyder shared a photo, which I couldn't find anywhere. Like I went through his Twitter. I didn't go on Vero because I don't have Vero. It's probably on Vero now that I think about it. It's probably on Vero. Yeah, I should have just made an account. That's my goal for today. So there was a picture of one of those film clackers, and then in the background there was the Crimean War Wonder Woman picture. So Zach shared that. Then Clay shared this, and it said, "And let it so it begins," or something like that, right? And that's concept art of Desaad and Darkseid at that moment where they say, ready the Armada, that I think it's that part. But this is just a little concept art. It looks like this maybe was like concept art for what was going to be on the wall, though. I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure. But so that was shared. And then this Henry Cavill interview comes out. That's 3. Like, okay, so Henry Cavill's talking about anti-life and continuing the arc of Superman without saying that it's not like the way he's presenting it, right, is that there's not a doubt that it's happening. Zach shares the clacker with the Crimean War thing, and then Clay shares this photo and says, "Let it begin." All in a span of like 1.5, 2 weeks. Could it be a hint at something more? Or is it just us reading way too far into everything? I don't know. But it's fun. It's fun to speculate. So, I'll continue to speculate all day. I love it. So, on to the next thing, I guess. Recent rumors are suggesting that maybe, just maybe, Tobey and Andrew are in Spider-Man No Way Home, or will inevitably make their debut in the MCU in some form or fashion. Maybe Doctor Strange 2 in the Multiverse of Madness. Maybe, Tobey in that movie, considering the director of the Spider-Man trilogy is the same director for Doctor Strange 2, and that's Sam Raimi. So there's a lot of paths that we could go down. However, one thing remains exactly true. Could Spider-Man 4 and The Amazing Spider-Man 3 end up being canon in the MCU? Well, Ty, you might ask, those movies never came to fruition, and they're not a thing. They're not real. Why are you talking about the Spider-Man 4 and Amazing Spider-Man 3, considering there's no such thing? Well, Raimi did have drafts and plans for Spider-Man 4. Could it come true in some form or fashion? If Tobey and Andrew join the MCU, could they reference events that were never put on screen, like the Sinister Six were heavily implied for the Amazing Spider-Man 3 if it were to happen? And we know that Vulture would be in Spider-Man 4. Could the MCU and the multiverse have these events be told in like an educational way, kind of helping Tom Holland in his current predicament? I could see that being correct, right? Spider-Man 4 was going to be like a real redemption story. And from the things that we've seen, possible Sandman return, Vulture for sure, maybe even Black Cat. So there's a lot of things that were going to, come into play in Spider-Man 4. And then The Amazing Spider-Man 3 was going to be the Sinister Six. Or they wanted to do a spin-off movie, but it could have been The Amazing Spider-Man 3. And then we know that No Way Home is setting up its own Sinister Six, multiverse Sinister Six. So could these events be referenced like they just happened off screen? And then Tobey and Andrew kind of talking to Tom Holland Spider-Man and being like, hey, I handled this, I handled that. It's kind of like what we're doing now. I think it could be true. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Could Spider-Man 4 and The Amazing Spider-Man 3 actually be canon in the MCU? Or could we ever get a continuation and actually see these films actually get made in the MCU if Tobey and Andrew were to join via the multiverse. Let me know in the comments below. And how excited are you for No Way Home? I know as the days come and go, I'm getting more and more and more excited. There are people on the internet who think there's going to be a third trailer dropping on Cyber Monday, which was Spider-Man Day or whatever they're calling it. I don't think so. Maybe a TV spot. But listen, you don't have to give another thing away for this movie. It is already sold itself. I know Bridging the Geekdoms is someone I see on Twitter a lot talking about a trailer that day. I will bet my reputation that there is not another full-length trailer. And if there is, it's not going to show Tobey and Andrew. Like, it's just not. They need to keep that marble on their chest, right? They're not going to give that away. This movie, the Spider-Man IP sells itself. Literally sells itself. Spider-Man 3, one of the worst things to happen to Spider-Man, did almost $900 million. Spider-Man sells, people. Spider-Man sells. All right, guys. We do have our final topic coming up, and this is one that I can't wait to talk about. All right. So, Tiger King 2. Tiger King 2 dropped on Netflix, and people are raving. People are raving about it, talking about Joe Exotic again. The guy's been in jail for 2.5 years at this point. Well, maybe I think we're going on 3 years at this point. I don't know. I think it's like more like three years, because during production of, I'd have to look into that. I think it's 2.5 to 3 years he's been in jail. So he's been in prison for 18 counts of animal cruelty and Endangered Species Act violations. So in the new Tiger King, the new season, it's not really based on Joe Exotic per se. It's more talking about Jeff Lowe, Lauren. I don't know if her last name's Lowe, but let's just call it Jeff and Lauren Lowe. Carole Baskin and Tim Stark. Tim Stark, by the way, you are a maniac. You are a literal, like, narcissistic with multiple personality lunatic. This dude is crazy, and the way he treats animals is criminal. And luckily, what happens to him at the end of this documentary is just desserts. Same thing for Joe Exotic. Like I said, the guy should be in jail, but not for 22 years. Like, it is just desserts, because these guys cage these animals that should not be caged, and now they end up in a cage. Jeff Lowe should be right there with them. Jeff Lowe is the biggest piece of human garbage that I've ever had the pleasure of knowing the story. Like, I don't know him personally, so I can't say that, but he is the biggest human trash that I've ever seen. He's a predator. He is a sexual predator. He is a scumbag, and he is just a hands down bad person. He should be in jail. But the story just, like, professional writers couldn't do this story justice. The way it twists, the way it turns, it's just remarkable. It's remarkable. And a lot of people will say, oh my God, it's exploiting these people. It's making Carole Baskin's life hell. Listen, she's not doing so bad on Dancing with the Stars. She's a public figure now. None of these people that were in Tiger King are doing so bad right now, right? Even Jeff Lowe and Tim Stark, like, they got their animals taken away. But people will always know them. They'll always be able to make money somehow. Jeff Lowe is taking advantage of it. Carole's definitely taking advantage. I don't care what anyone says. And Joe is the only one that seems to be not benefiting from it at all. And the dude's locked in. Listen, I don't support what he did to the animals. And from what he's been saying, he doesn't even agree with it anymore. As I said, the Just Desserts thing. He was talking about it in the documentary. And if you haven't watched Tiger King, I highly recommend it. The animal cruelty part is very hard to watch. It's hard. I love animals. My boy's right there. My boy Logan's right there. Like, I gave him a hug. I had to pause Tiger King 1 and 2 multiple times to give my dog a hug and just be like, I would never put you in harm's way. I would always protect you. Like, I love you more than anything. I hope you know that. And he does, because Logan's my buddy. And I would never have the heart to do anything bad to an animal. These people are criminal. But 22 years in federal prison, come on. That's a little much. That's a little much. The murder for hire thing, it's been exposed as a fraud. It's a lie. The plot that Joe had to kill Carole Baskin, as sinister it is on the surface, he was never going to go through with it. Jeff Lowe comes in and basically figures out a way to transfer money to this guy and have it look like Joe did. And then they put him away because Jeff Lowe wanted to steal Joe's zoo. The facts are all there. It's very plain, cut and dry. There's no doubting it. Even Jeff Lowe has flip-flopped. Every single person from season 1 has flip-flopped and is now helping Joe try to get out of prison because they couldn't live with themselves. It's travesty. Guys, definitely take a look at Tiger King 2. It is a travesty. And I really want to know if Carole killed her husband. I think so. The evidence against her is just too. I reached out to her too, and she deleted my comment on her video. So clearly she doesn't want to talk. But Carole Baskin is sketchy. So here's her husband. His name's Don Lewis. He was a millionaire. He had a lot of money, and him and Carole were married 20 years ago. Carole was not wealthy, and Don was the breadwinner. Like, nothing against women, nothing like that. But Don was the one with the money in this scenario. And Carole got, like, this happens all too often, guys. I marry someone who's wealthy and rich. I get accustomed to that lifestyle. Then this guy or this woman, like in my case, right? Let's just say it's a woman, decides that she wants to divorce me, and the hints are present that she wants to leave me. What am I going to do? Just go back to being poor or get half the money? No. Carole wanted it all, and she has said it. She on a video, she was like, no, I wanted all the money and the cats. Like, I'm going to be doing more of a video breakdown on the Don Lewis, Carole Baskin situation. So I don't want to get too far into it right now, but the evidence is staggering against her, and no one's been looking twice. Luckily, the sheriff's department in whatever county they're in is starting to look back into it, and the family of Don Lewis has just gone through hell. Basically, they've gone through hell, and they don't know where their dad is, or that's crazy. There's just this missing person. People say he's alive in Costa Rica, but then the people in Costa Rica are like, no, he never came back. Like, he just disappeared one day. So there's a lot of crazy shit in this documentary. Highly recommend watching it just so you can at least know what's going on. And I'll be doing a breakdown video on it very, very, very soon, because it really does interest me. Because whoever at Netflix decided, like, this is the story we should tell. You are smart. However, Carole Baskin is saying that Netflix duped her, so she's suing Netflix, even though she was on, like, Dancing with the Stars. Like, she wouldn't have been on Dancing with the Stars had it not been for Tiger King. Let's not get it twisted. These people are so, so ridiculous. All right, guys, that is going to do it for today. Please wish Jack a healthy recovery, guys. I took over from today because, he's getting a surgery. Not a main, life-threatening surgery, anything like that, but just keep him in your thoughts, keep him in your prayers if that's something you do. Make sure to smash that subscribe button, guys, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads from the Pop Culture Corner or any of its affiliate shows. And make sure to smash the like button and share the show all around social media. Speaking of social media, follow us. All the links are in the description below. And remember that we do it for you. We do it for the culture. Wednesday, tomorrow, God, I forgot. Tucky Williams will be joining the show. She's an indie filmmaker. Wonderful. I love her. And she's going to be joining the show tomorrow. If you'd like to support the channel further, remember, hit that join button below. Become a member for as low as $2.99. And if you do join our $4.99 or $9.99 tier, you could potentially be walking away this month with a HyperX Quadcast microphone. If you like to stream, if you like to use microphones for work, if you work from home, anything like that, we're giving away a $150 USB HyperX Quadcast microphone this month to one lucky member. And then we're also giving away to one of our members, all tiers, a Spiderman pop. So it's a Superior Octopus pop, and all members are entered to win that. All you have to do to be entered is to become a member of any of our tiers before the end of the month. I'll be making the decision and drawing on December 1st. So become a member before then, and you could potentially walk away with either a $150 microphone or a nice Superior Octopus pop. All right, guys, that'll do it for today. Love y'all, and I'll see you tomorrow.